um, by the time we got married to maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I felt like maybe periods of time were meaningful. Like we did this, this, and this. This was meaningful, but now it's every day. Like I know you don't think about it. I know the kids don't think about it, but I do think like, what can I do to just get them to know that I'm here? Like, how can I make them smile or make them feel like I'm glad he asked me that? Like, I think about those things because you get enough of smiles or enough information. If somebody says, I'm glad he said that, they're going to look at you differently over the period of time. You're like, man, he was giving me this the whole time. Like when you look back to reflect, when I look back and reflect on my life and I'm thinking about, I didn't get those things and I could have been a better person, but I didn't get it. So I feel like the way that I approach it, I can make better people around me. So I enjoy my marriage because I feel like it's purposeful, period. It's not just what is it called? Like assembly line. Mm-hmm. Of days until you get old and then your kids have kids. It's like, how can they remember the day somehow? So that's why I look at the benefits of being in a relationship. Like, so if you do the partnership or whatnot, the marriage in my head, it makes a sense of I can't get out of it as easy. Because when you're in a partnership, to me, I feel like I ain't got to take this. And I feel like somebody's going to be immature and get out of it. In a marriage, it makes it a little more difficult. Like, do you want that? Do you want to be known as having a divorce? Do you want to tell people that you've been divorced? Like, nobody wants to say that. That's not a badge of honor either. So if you tell somebody you have a divorce, they've already come up with 1,000 things. Like, why didn't it work? What was it? Is it you? Was it them? Did you pick the wrong person? Hope with kids wasn't involved. So it's like, when you like, yeah, I've been married for how long? And then they don't come up with like, they must have went through everything. They were like, oh, that's beautiful. Congratulations.
I feel like so many people have relationships that aren't marriage, but they fit the description, that it don't necessarily have to mean that you had a divorce. Like if you were in a relationship with somebody for 10 years and it didn't work out and it didn't lead to marriage, I'd still be looking like, what happened? What did you do? Like, you were with somebody that long. So, but what I'm saying is, you said if somebody says they're in a divorce, I mean, I'm saying somebody who didn't get married and they broke off a long.
But you would have to talk long enough to know that. Like, it's only a few words that you can say to somebody. If you say a divorce, that's already a million things. For me to have a 10-year relationship, we'd have to talk a little more for you to say I had a 10-year relationship and it didn't work. So that wasn't like one of those key words that made you feel like you could sum up what happened in my life. So I totally get about those people, but I'm only referring to the benefits of being married. Okay. When you're married, there are less conversations that are being had because they feel like you understand. We just talked about there are people that been married way longer than us ain't figured nothing out. Yeah. So the benefits of being married, apparently there's no benefits for you because I promised to God when I started this whole thing out, it was talking about, let's talk about why we're happy. And then she just made it seem like I am halfway in this relationship and, you still got to prove to me.
No.
Because whatever you seeing, I'm worried about the people who single.
No. I'm just saying, I always want to be careful in the presentation of my thoughts. I don't want to seem like I'm just like a cut and dry person because I look at all parts. I think of myself, how I've considered, I think of it all. So I'm not just going to sit here and say, oh, it's a million benefits to marriage, and if you don't have it, then you must be I
don't even think that was what I was looking for. I was looking for whatever you thought, and you immediately projected.
No, but I told you in the beginning, the benefits of marriage
to you.
Like, it's you have a partner. Like, I think that much of what you have is just like you said, marriage, you can have what we have and not be married It's the paper that makes it more difficult to dissolve it.
But you don't have. But this is what I'm saying. Like when you're married and you keep talking about an example of.
No, but I'm not. I'm just saying to you that you can have a relationship with somebody.
But that's not what this is talking about, though.
Yeah,
if I'm asking you, that's what okay, so check this out. I really like, if I'm trying to get you to stay on topic as first, but you keep like I don't understand. What am I doing? What am I doing wrong?
What you want me to say? Okay, the benefits of the marriage. You have someone who is with you, like it's your friend, okay? You have a partner in life that you can grow with, and you create children, and you hope that the next generation that you create together through this partnership is going to make the world even better the next time around. You got a partner. Yeah. But that's why I was like, I mean, but if y'all see partnership as something important, marriage is really just based on the paper. But it does it makes you do more work because you know that it takes more to get out of it than if you were just in a partnership. I'm with that. I didn't mean to go off topic. I just want to make sure that I'm looking at this completely, like not just going in and saying, yes, in a marriage, you have to have like, these are the benefits and you can only have it if you're married. I don't want to portray that because I don't think that that's true. So I'm trying to be careful.
How am I supposed to approach like questions to you without you feeling like you got to represent a group of people?
No, I don't feel like I have to represent a group of people.
You don't think you did that? Like if I say,
I'm saying that I have to accurately represent my position
of your life. So if I'm asking you, what are the benefits to so there are really no benefits other than you get to grow with a partner for you. Like, cause to me, when you describe the benefits of marriage, you was like, you get a partner and you grow with them. And that was like, okay, like, you know what? I wouldn't want,
but
you wouldn't,
that mean?
You
like
wouldn't,
you got a good friend.
I feel like you give me a reason not to get married.
Damn.
You
really?
did? What are you talking about? You defended everybody who was single or listen what I'm saying.
Okay.
You defended everybody who was single. You defended everybody who was unhappy in their marriage. And then you said the benefit for you was you get to grow with somebody. And you didn't even make it seem like that was exciting. Okay. It was just like you get to grow with somebody and
no. So this is the thing. I'm saying like when I was listening to you before, it's like, you get to have children and you get to grow old with somebody and you get to do things together, and in my head I'm thinking you can do those things and not be married. And then what made me go in the other direction was when you said people haven't, if you're single you haven't figured it out, and I don't necessarily agree with that. Sometimes I think they did figure it out and they're not willing to.
That's cool too, but my point is that you don't know what it looks like for somebody who hasn't figured it out. So to me, I feel like you know what a person that looks like they figured it out, but they just single.
I'm not saying that what you say is wrong. I'm saying that we need to be mindful that there are people on the other end too. What you're saying is not descriptive of everyone.
Well, I'm only referring to us when I talk about anything. I'm talking about
no, but when you talk about single people, you're not talking about us.
Because I'm talking about people that are married that are not happy too.
Okay,
like they're a part of all of this. To me, I feel like where we've gotten is I didn't know this existed. Okay. So. Again, if I'm talking about what the benefits of marriage is, it's not about benefits in anybody else's household but yours. And to me, I feel like I'm doing too much defending of why you should be happier when maybe you're not as happy as I think you are.
No, I think that the conversation when we're talking about the benefits of marriage, I think that when we talked about marriage being a scam, we kind of went over that. But what I'm saying is that when you make statements and you say the single people haven't figured it out and that's why they're still, I just want to be clear that that's not always the case. I think it's just about people's growth. I don't think it's about whether or not you're married. I think that there are people who have not grown and they're married. There are people who've grown and they're single and vice versa. So I'm really thinking in terms of talking about a person's experience and not their marital status. That's going to be the determinant of like quality of life.
But aren't we referring again to our marriage? If I say, if our whole thing was about being married and parenting,
right?
So if I say the benefits of being married, and you start telling me all of the benefits of remaining single, or not even benefits, whatever the opposite word of benefits are, to me, I feel like, are we trying to sell the idea that marriage is even worth it?
No, what I'm trying to sell is the idea of healthy people going into a marriage and not broken people. That's all I was saying.
But why are we talking about that when I'm asking you specifically, what are the benefits of being married? Like, you want to talk about you should be healthy before okay. But what are the benefits after you get there?
Do you get any benefits if you're not healthy?
I got 14 years. I got 14 years of marriage. Like, if we didn't get into marriage 14 years ago, we wouldn't have this. Like, I didn't know that I wasn't like where I needed to be. Like, whenever anybody gets married, they think that they're ready. Like, it's very rare that people feel like they're being forced. They feel like, you know what, I can do this. Mm-hmm. So the idea, that like everybody say you just learned your relation 10 years from now, we're going to be talking about like, do you remember when we had that episode about the benefits of being married and you were just talking like, we're going to grow. So to me, I feel like if we feel like marriage is worth it, why are we talking about why other people ain't figured it out then? I would just want to. You
said they ain't figured it out.
They haven't figured it out because, like you just said earlier, you said they haven't had the growth there. They haven't figured it out. Like when the light bulb goes off, it's like, oh, that's the growth. I figured it out. But if the light bulb didn't go off, then you don't have any growth. So I'm saying, what was it? Why are you happy? But I guess that's pointless. Because this episode,
it wasn't meant to make.
I know,
you feel
but it was
way.
It was nothing that I could say for you to feel like you didn't have to like it. It was. I don't know. I just feel like where I am, I've never been this happy. I can honestly say that. And to talk about why I'm happy made it seem like I was like forcing you to talk about why you're happy. You're not happy.
I am happy.
You are not happy. And that let me know, like, because I was like, I couldn't pull teeth out for you to tell you why it's benefits of being married.
No, I don't think that. I felt like when we're going through these conversations, it's always like, it's not always, let me not say that. I just feel like in the conversation, it was like, if you're married, then you already got this leg up. And
but I didn't say that though.
But that's how I felt in the statements you were making. And I just wanted to be clear. Like I said, I want to make sure that when I'm representing myself, I'm saying exactly how I feel.
But it sounds like you're representing a group of people that you don't represent. That's why I always told you, like, why do you talk about single women?
Why do you talk about single people too?
I was talking about marriage. Us. It was all about us. What are the benefits of marriage for you? And he's like, you don't have to, like, other people can't. I'm like, what are we doing?
Okay. So the benefits of marriage.
No, I don't know, because we can't do that now. Like, you don't even sound happy when you just, the benefits, like you sounded.
I felt like, yes, I went off subject, but I feel like when you say stuff, it's so matter of fact, it has to be this way. And
our marriage is matter of fact.
But when you were talking about other people who are not in a marriage, it's like you make statements as if you know. And I think that that's not fair because it doesn't always.
It's not fair to who?
It's not fair to represent that everybody who's in a marriage is in a better place than everyone who's single, because it's not. And so when you said whatever the statement was you initially said, no, you said when people are single, they haven't figured it out.
They have not.
And my response was they may have figured it out. And because they have certain standards of what kind of marriage they want to be in, they want to be in a healthy one, then they may be holding out looking for that.
But that's look, check this out. I don't know anybody who says I'm looking for the worst marriage possible.
No, but I also think that there are some people who it's like, I love that person. We're going to get married. It's just like previous conversations we've had where we talked about you need to vet people. You need to look past your initial feelings of loving somebody or sexually how you feel and start looking at who they are as a person, how they relate to their family. What is their mental health? Are they healthy? In the end, are they a healthy match for me? That's what we've been telling people. And so when you say if they're single, they haven't figured it out. What if they're single and they have figured it out and they're looking for this healthy relationship that we've been talking about? I can answer that.
So when I feel like if somebody figured it out, then they can make the relationship work.
Who wants to have to make it work?
Nobody. No, right. But I don't know anybody who doesn't go through that. We want something different, right? We want something different. But the whole point of this was the benefits of being married. Okay, that's what I want you to understand.
I didn't mean to go off.
No, but I'm saying the whole point was the benefits of marriage. But if we're going to talk about you have to be healed or whatever, then we can't really say that, because I can say that, like, if you knew what you knew, then I wouldn't be here.
The thing is if I think that a marriage can be truly beneficial if you're going into it and both of you guys have the mind frame to be in it and you can work toward it. I think that there are people who get in marriages for the wrong reasons, or people are not ready, even if they think they're ready. You may think you're ready based on the marriages you've seen before, but in order to have a truly prosperous and happy marriage, you may not be. And I don't think that I'm not saying that I'm not happy. I'm just very careful to say that there are people who've been in marriages and they're not happy. And just because they're in a marriage doesn't mean they figured out more than somebody who's single. Because being in a marriage with someone who's not ready or who doesn't understand or is not healed can be extremely damaging. And I don't think that I'm going to sit here and say that, like, if you're in a marriage with people who both have the same mindset, you're healed or you are open to healing, we talked about this before, then, I mean, I really feel like it could be a really, really great opportunity. But if you're in it with someone who is not healthy or who is not in the same mindset as you, it could just be a more difficult, damaging situation to get out of. So if somebody is single and they're just waiting for that healthy relationship that they feel like they can grow further in, then I'm not going to say they haven't figured it out. But if it's somebody who's just running around looking for somebody off of some superficial stuff and they haven't grown, then of course it's that they haven't figured something out.
Well, I guess I'm just going by my experience. The single people I know seem like they want just like what other single people want. They want an idea that they can find somebody to compliment them the way that they want them to compliment them. And that's not how the relationship works. Like if everybody could pick the things that could compliment you, of course you would do that. But there's things that you don't know that you need, but you say, I don't want to deal with that. But that's what you need for you to be able to grow in a relationship. And then you just decide that this is the breaking point. Like, I'm not dealing with that. Well, you're going to remain single because that's probably the part that you needed to be able to grow. And you're like, you know what? I'm just going to roll this one out. And as you get older, you're going to have to say, damn, why didn't I go for it? And if you say you didn't, if you comfortable with why you didn't go for it, cool. But I don't see anybody saying, damn, why didn't I try? I should have at least tried. And if you don't try, you're going to beat yourself up like, you know what? I was comfortable. That's who I was then. And I'm comfortable with where I'm. No, you're not. You're going to be mad. Like, why didn't I just, the effort that you could have gave could have just changed the trajectory of where you are. And that's the way I feel like we are the captains of our soul, literally. Mm-hmm. Like, if you don't go towards something, it's because whatever insecurity or whatever messaging you got, but you're going to have to deal with not going for it. Like, I don't see people, I don't see people having multiple divorces and saying like, I wish I didn't try, like they're looking for something. And then if you don't try, you're going to have to be like, damn, why didn't I try? At least that's the way that I would look at it. And majority of the people I know, they seem very competitive in nature. They don't want to lose. They want to win. They like people to compliment them. They feel good when people say nice things about them. So when you say something is the common idea of marriage and having kids amongst humans, the human being population, everybody in my mind, there's a part that says, you know what, I would love to have that. But if you can't make it there, you're going to be like, what didn't I get? And then you're going to be like, dang, God didn't send me the right person. So it's like, how do you live as a person to say that, you know, I figured it out, but I just couldn't find nobody to figure it out with me. They didn't figure it out. That's the way that I look at it. I feel like in order to figure it out, you have to do it with somebody. I really do, because it's about growing, period. You can't grow by yourself. And after you figure yourself out, it's like, okay, what's the next step? Like, you can have all the money in the world. You can go on all the vacations in the world. You can explore. You can go to all of these parties. You can buy all the vehicles. But, like, what are people going to remember? And I feel like that's a tough pill to swallow. And maybe people don't want to admit that that's the hard truth. That's the hard truth. At least that would be my truth. If I didn't have you, I could tell you, like I said, if my dad didn't die, I would be the person that I'm talking about. And I would hope that I wouldn't have fucked up the world along the way. But I know that I just didn't know enough. And at the end of the day, I just want people to be happy. I don't want to make it seem like I'm out here just trying to like say we're this, but I feel like we can give people things to cut the curve, because like I told you, the single people I know, their friends are getting younger and younger. Nobody wants to be, going to little Uzi Vert concerts.
Somebody might want to go to
44. At 44.
I don't, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, I want, and I know I was long winded. I just want us to be able to give whatever we can to say, this shit was worth it. Like, I know that this was a tough road, but I don't know how I could have got here any other way. And like, I just feel like now it can only get better. Like I can't dwell on what I did in the past or what I didn't do in the past, but I can say, I can show her why this means so much to me today. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was trying to get you to give, but you're not really. So I don't even know if there's going to see the day of air of day, whatever I'm looking for.
No, I don't. There's one thing about me is it may be frustrating to you that I want to make sure that every view is represented fairly. It's not to say that I'm not happy. It's just that I understand that people can be in many different places, regardless of what their marital status is. That's just my thought process. But I don't want you to think that there aren't benefits to being married.
Well, you gave the world that.
I have.
There's really no benefits.
No, I have a really good friend. I really do. There's not a day that I go through where there's not someone to wake up with me and enjoy life, and we laugh about the simplest things, and we compare what 90s rappers we would put with today's rappers. And it's all of those little things that make my day peaceful and happy. But for me, the benefits of marriage, it's different. It's just, is my peace made even better by the person that's with me. Like, my kids are wonderful kids, and I believe you really compliment me on raising these children, and they're going to be amazing and awesome, not because of me, but because of the two perspectives they get as parents. So I know that our lineage and whatever happens after us, we presented something beautiful to the world. And I could not have done that with just anybody. I recognize that. I also recognize that when I go through my day, I look forward to having conversations that don't make sense. Like, the conversations we were having last night about the rappers, or when we talk about, we're watching like Korean dramas and we're, trying to interpret everything that's going, like, that adds to my peace and my happiness and my contentment in my life. So the benefit you offer to me is that partnership. Like, I could work 97,000 jobs and have the house that I'm in. I could raise my kids, but you definitely add value and release some pressure from me as my partner. And I would not be where I am. There are a lot of experiences when we weren't healed and when we were healing that definitely built into who I am, and I appreciate it. I do feel like being married to somebody, like you said, that paper makes it a lot more difficult to part ways, and it requires you to be more thoughtful and innovative in how you handle situations outside of what you've seen generations before you do. I've definitely been stretched. I've definitely grown, and I don't want that to go into the world and people think that I don't see it. However, being the social worker that I am and who I've always been, I'm always trying to make sure that I'm looking at everyone's perspective. So I don't want anybody to think that I don't see value in my life or in my marriage. I definitely do. So I want to say that, but I also, y'all, because we got to be happy when this thing, when he hits the stop button. But
no, honestly, like, I don't have a problem with showing like the riffs, because at the end of the day, whoever listens to this, somebody knows that somebody kind of controlled the conversation, because you could see that it was spinning. And it was like, where is this going?
Well,
and I feel like it just showed that you can still have a conversation that could get out of control, but nobody's being disrespected. And it's like,
yeah, I think that, and the other thing is, you said this is a marriage show, and we're trying to talk about being marriage, being in a marriage and having children. And truthfully, I don't look at this as a marriage show. I look at this as a show that focuses on how you can relate to your significant other, like how to have a relationship that has that equal pull and push. And I thought we were looking at it on how can you better relate to your partner, whether you're married or not. Yes, we are a married couple, and yes, we want to help people, kind of not hit the same road bumps that we did in our marriage, so that you can have, you can fight some different fights. Those might not be the ones you have to have, but I also recognize that it doesn't have to be about married people versus single people. It could just be about people walking into relationships and wanting to be whole, and because I believe that there's some individual growth that you need to have in order to go into a relationship with someone and be able to grow as a couple and as a family and as a point of a new lineage. Like, I think that there are 2 points of growing, and it makes it harder when you both come in as broken individuals, and then you got to grow each other that way and support each other that way, and then you grow as a couple and as a point of lineage. But I just really, I'm always going to be the advocate for people looking inside and trying to figure out what are those things, that turmoil in your spirit that you're trying to fight, heal it, so that when you're with that person you love, they're not getting, them stray bullets from what's hurt you. You know what I'm saying? You've healed that part, so they don't get hurt by your healing process. And I know that there are people like we definitely got hurt by one another's healing process. And loving one another, it's where we are now. I'm okay. And I feel that you're okay. But it was hard and it hurt. And so what I'm saying in all of this is heal as much of your individual self as you can, so when you're with that person you love, they don't catch those stray bullets of your trying to grow out of that turmoil while trying to love them while they're growing in their turmoil. And it's a lot of chaos that doesn't have to happen if we own the fact that there are things that there's some housekeeping we have to do for ourselves. That's always going to be my stance in everything. And I think that that's probably where the conflict was today, is that I wanted to be sure that we're mindful that your individual healing and growth is different than your growth and healing as a couple. And it makes it harder when you don't own that you're supposed to heal yourself first. That was the only thing. And I may have been lost in that, but I don't think you get the full benefit of marriage and growth and positivity in that marriage if you are struggling with yourself. I do believe you can, because we're here, but I'm just saying there were bullets I caught from you that hurt me, and I had to heal from that in order to move forward with you. There are bullets you caught from me. I don't want to hurt you. I want to come into this marriage with you and be able to propel forward and get those nicks and those scratches on this couple journey. You know what I'm saying?
I think most people don't know that they're broken.
I know, and that's why I'm saying one of the things that I'm constantly saying is either you have healed yourself or you are open to being healed or open to healing or doing the work to heal. I'm always going to put that forward because I think that is an important part of having a really, really good relationship. I do. And so it's always going to come out. So if you guys felt like I was like off the chain today, I apologize. But my thought is, in the background, we're two people coming in and we're trying to, like, you know, to make it sound like a movie or something, but we're coming together so that we can save the world. We can't save the world if we still trying to save ourselves. Like, there are levels to it. You got to take care of yourself, then you grow as a couple, and then you can grow your children in the world, in your impact in the world after that. But if you sitting around here broken, you on one leg, knees and elbows, trying to make it, how great am I going to be in partnering with you to do great things if I have pieces missing, if things are out of place?
But you don't know the pieces are missing until
I understand.
That's
why I'm constantly just saying, you know, look in yourself, you know, it's always good to do inventory just to check and see. And some people don't know, but that's where the being willing to heal, that's where that comes in. I may not know, but once you say, Kanika, there's a problem here because this is going on with you, then I have to be open to saying, okay, well, I didn't know, but I'm willing to work through it, instead of being like, this is how I've always been and this is how I'm gonna be, and you with me all this time, you know, this no, this is just who I am. No, it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not who you are. It's the hurt part of you. And if you were fulfilled or if you were healed, then maybe that defense mechanism or behavior or response to this, you know, triggered response, it wouldn't be there. So that was my point. It wasn't to say there's no benefits. It's always to say the benefits are directly related to how healed you are when you go in. Like how many bullets you catch versus how many flowers you get. To me, it makes a difference as to whether or not you're walking into a relationship and you're whole as a person, or if you're not whole, you're open to somebody helping you fill in those gaps.
For sure.
Because if I love you and we find out that there are gaps, I'm going to want to help you. But I can't do it if you're not open to it. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of the vetting process. That should be like, hey, are you open to knowing that you're broken?
I mean, but we've talked about that, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like in this, you were kind of getting hype on me, and I know that I frustrate you where you feel like I'm always bumping for this group that I don't represent, these single women, but it's single people, period. And really, my fight is on healing. It's not about whether or not you're married or not. It's are you your best self? And are you open to always becoming a better self? That's it.
No doubt. That went so many ways, but it ended up where I thought it should have already been going anyway. But anybody you want to give a shout out to before we get out of here?
I want to give a shout out to all of the people that I have been watching, and this is what I was talking about, the trends I'm seeing of women and men who are speaking so beautifully. It was a man I was watching on Instagram today, and he said he met a woman and she was like, you know, if you want to be with a woman like me, you got to be able to apply pressure. And he said, you apply pressure to wounds. You apply pressure to bleeding. Are you wounded? Are you bleeding? It's like, because I'm coming in here trying to elevate. I'm not coming in here trying to be, you know, that's a doctor that if you know already you need somebody to apply pressure. If you're wounded, then we need to address that, not if we want to be together. And it's like, I'm not just hearing it from our women. I'm hearing it from our men that they are setting boundaries for what's healthy and what's not. And we're holding one another accountable for being in a better place and owning that growth. And so I give a shout out to everybody on Instagram who gives me hope that we are growing and we're healing ahead of time.
No doubt. Shout out to all the parents who are giving the best versions of themselves for their kids to take their best habits. All the parents who are removing their bad habits because their kids don't know that they're bad habits. Shout out to everybody who are in relationships who are trying to create something that they haven't seen, no matter what it looks like, marriage, partnership, friendships, anything where you are complimenting another person and they are growing with you. So shout out to all of you guys who finds importance in that. Make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you cannot control. Be great on purpose. Boom.